Yeah, now let's review what we have discussed so far. This is cavity wall. When cavity is heated, the cavity wall irradiates electromagnetic radiation, and the cavity wall also reabsorb electromagnetic radiation. So equilibrium is established. At equilibrium, the spectral distribution inside cavity is called low. So it looks like this. X-axis represents the frequency, Y-axis represents the intensity of the light inside the cavity. The curve looks like this. This curve is called the blackbody radiation curve. And according to Kirihiko, this curve is independent of the cavity material. So this is the main result from Kirihiko. So scientists try to derive this mathematical formula for blackbody radiation curve. In our textbook, two scientists are introduced. First one is Rayleigh, who represents critical mechanics. Second one is Planck, who represent quantum mechanics. According to them, the formula for Rayleigh looks like this. And for Planck, formula looks like this. This part is a little bit complicated. First thing you noted is that both of them share a common structure. Both of them are composed of two parts, first part and second part. And interestingly, the first term is identical. The difference arises from the second part. So our main focus is on why second term is different. This is the main topic in today's lecture. And before diving into the second term, I'm going to explain why first term isn't necessary. Okay. As I mentioned earlier, when cavity is heated, the cavity walls irradiate light, and the cavity wall also absorb light. So physicists first establish the physical model, how the cavity walls irradiate light. And before diving into this cavity wall, you may recall how electrons irradiate light in atoms. In atoms, nucleus is at the center, and the electrons revolve around the nucleus. And this electron is charged particle. So, according to electromagnetic theory, when a charged particles undergo circular motion, it is supposed to emit radiation. This is a Rutherford model. Similarly, physicists thought that this wall irradiates radiation because this wall are composed of electrons attached to a kind of spring. This is a physical model of cavity wall. Now, this electron are attached to spring, so this electron can oscillate. The oscillation frequency depends on the force constant of the spring. According to physics, the frequency is equal to this one. So vibrational frequency depends on the force constant of K. So when force constant increase, the vibrational frequency increase. So the light emitted from this electron, the frequency increase. So the light intensity depends on the force constant K. So when I draw black body radiation curve, so electrons in this region emit radiation with high frequency. It means then the electrons are attached to force constant, large force constant. So potential curve looks like this. Electrons which emits low frequency light has small value of force constant K. So potential curve looks like this: loose potential, broad potential, and narrow potential. So frequency of light depends on the force constant K, which attracts electrons. This is a physical model of these cavity walls. So potential of this electron looks like this. Just a harmonic oscillator. So this is the total energy. Let's say this is the total energy of this oscillator. When electron oscillates, as I said before, the electron emits light. This is oscillator. When electron oscillates, it emits light. So the energy of oscillator decreases because it emits light. And the oscillator also absorbs light. So light intensity decreases and the energy of oscillator increases. In other words, oscillator and light exchange energy between them. And after some time, the equilibrium is established between oscillator and light. So at some time, the light intensity is called rho. The oscillator energy is called E. This bracket means the average. So once the equilibrium is established, average oscillator energy and light intensity remains constant. This is equilibrium. This is exactly like a chemical reaction. Let's say reactant A is converted to product B, and conversely, B is also converted to A. After some time, equilibrium is reached. Then ratio between concentration A and B is fixed. So at equilibrium, this is fixed. This ratio is called equilibrium constant. You may be familiar with this concept. This is very similar to this one. Oscillator, light, exchange energy between them. And once the equilibrium is reached, the ratio between oscillator energy and the light intensity is fixed. So oscillator energy and light intensity, the ratio of oscillator energy and light intensity is some kind of constant is given. According to Planck, the constant is equal to 8 pi mu square over c square. This formula is derived from Planck. So when we rearrange this equation, it looks like this. This is our equation. So blackbody radiation curve are composed of two parts. First part is this one. This is actually similar to equilibrium constant. Second part is important. This one corresponds to the average oscillator energy. So when you compare this formula, this part corresponds to the average oscillator energy. As I said before, they have similar structure. They are consisted of two terms. But first term is equal, identical. Only difference lies in second term. And second term corresponds to average oscillator energy, right? According to this formula. So remaining task is to how to calculate average oscillator energy. Now we are going to review basic concept of how to calculate average value. How to calculate average. Now this is a table for test score of English, for example. X means the test score. Some students score 10 points. Other students test score 50. Other students score 90. The number of students who score 10 is 2. Number of students who scores 50, 5. Number of students who get 90 is 3. So total number of students is 10. Then how do you calculate the average value of X? Average value is bracket X. Bracket means average. How do you calculate average of this test score? So 2 times 10 plus 5 times 50 and 3 times 90 divided by total number of students. This is the average score of this value. Now I'm going to modify this equation a little bit. This equation is same. Now, what does this term means? This term means that the probability the student get 10 points. This is the probability students get 50 points. So this is the probability. So we can express the formula for calculating average value looks like this. How do you calculate average? Summation xn pxn times n. So this is the formula to calculate test score. Xn means test score. Pxn means the probability. So this is the formula for calculating average value of score, right? Now we are going to calculate average value of average value of oscillator, right? For Rayleigh. Now we are going to calculate average value of oscillator. This is for test score. And this is oscillator energy. The question is that then we can apply this formula to this one when we calculate oscillator energy. The answer is no, because the test score, there's a fundamental difference between test score and oscillator energy. Why? Test score is quantized value, but oscillator energy is continuous. This value is continuous, but test score is quantized, discrete. this formula is only applicable to discrete value, but you are going to calculate oscillator energy, which is continuous. Energy is continuous according to classical mechanics. So we cannot use this formula when we calculate oscillator energy. Instead of summation, we are going to use integration. So formula looks like this. Because energy is continuous, we must use this formula instead of this one. Why? X is discrete, E is continuous. So this is the formula Rayleigh used for calculating oscillator energy. So I'm going to calculate this one. Energy can take value from 0 to infinity. Now determine average energy. We must know the probability PE. For probability PE, we are going to use Boltzmann distribution. We already used Boltzmann probability. You may remember this formula. When we derive Maxwell-Boltzmann distribution, we use same formula, right? This is proposed by Boltzmann, but please note that Boltzmann argued that this one is proportional to this one. This is not equal to this one. So to set these two terms equal, we need proportionality constant. We need to introduce proportionality constant. 1 over Q is proportionality constant to set two terms equal. Okay. Then, how do you calculate Q? We are going to use important property PE satisfied. P is probability. Probability must satisfy important properties. When you add all the probability, it must give 1 because this is probability. So when you add all the probability, mathematically speaking, when you integrate all the probability, it must be 1. This function must satisfy this equation. Right? So instead of P, I'm going to use this formula. But 1 over Q is constant. So this one can go out of this integration. So 1 over Q can go out of this integration. So this is Q. So remember that this is definite integral. This is definite integral. So this is just value. This is constant. This is not variable. Remember that. So I'm going to Q put into this one. So when I put this formula to here, the PE is equal to Q are inserted here. This is PE. Now we are going to put this formula here. This one goes to here. Okay. Now This formula looks like this. This is our final formula. Now I said before, this is definite integral. This is not variable. This is constant, so this one can go out of this integration. So this one here. This one appears here. This is our equation. Now we are going to numerator and denominator using the integration formula. According to integration formula, we are going to use this formula. Equal n factorial over a to the n plus. We are going to use this formula to evaluate numerator and denominator. First, I am going to evaluate numerator using this integration formula. For this one, x corresponds to e. This is e to the 1. And n corresponds to 1. And a corresponds to 1 over kbt. When you substitute x with e and substitute by 1, a 1 over kbt, this formula is the same. So this one is equal to, I'm going to use this formula, 1 factorial over 1 over kbt square. This is the answer result for the first numerator. Okay, now I'm going to evaluate denominator. Denominator here is equal to e to the 0. So similarly, x corresponds to e and n corresponds to now 0. A corresponds to 1 over kbt. So when you use this formula, this is equal to 0 factorial 1 over kbt 1. This is a denominator, this is numerator. And according to mathematics, 1 factorial is equal to 1. And 0 factorial is also equal to 1. The numerator and denominator. This is our answer result. When you rearrange this formula, it is equal to kbt. This is the final result Rayleigh obtained. So average oscillator energy is equal to kbt. This is the result obtained by Rayleigh. So this is the Rayleigh's result. This one is obtained. How do you calculate delta E? Using this formula. When you're using integration, when you calculate average E, you obtain kbt. And Rayleigh compared his prediction with experimental finding, but his prediction failed to explain experimental data. So now Planck appears, and Now it's time to Planck step in to resolve this problem. Now let's move on to Planck. Now Planck make a radical assumption. He assumed that this is the oscillator energy, and he assumed that energy is not continuous. Energy is quantized, which looks like this. The oscillator can have only this discrete value of energy. For oscillator, which have specific frequency nu, the oscillator can have energy integer multiple of h nu is possible. Mathematically speaking, the oscillator can have energy n h nu. This is the expression proposed by Planck. So the ground state energy is 0. First excited state energy h nu, second energy 2h nu, 3h nu, blah blah blah. So Planck assumed that oscillator can have only this discrete quantized energy is possible. This is the assumption made by Planck. Now please note that the energy gap between consecutive energy level is equal to h nu. The energy gap is h nu, h nu, h nu. The energy gap only depends on nu. It is important. The energy gap is proportional to nu, which is the vibrational frequency of the oscillator. So anyway, then how do you calculate average energy of this oscillator? Now Planck used summation instead of integration. Now Planck used this formula. So now I'm going to evaluate this formula. Similarly, to calculate average energy, we need to know the probability. We are going to use Boltzmann distribution law. So according to Boltzmann, PEN is proportional to exponential E minus KT. Similarly, this one is not equal to, is not identical to each other. To set this term equal, we need to proportionality constant. Then how do you calculate Q? P is probability, so when you add all the probability, it must be 1. So when you add all the probability, it must give 1. So this formula must satisfy this one. As I said before, Q is constant, so this 1 over Q go out of this summation. So Q move to left. So this is Q. So I'm going to put this Q here. So PEN now equal to now we obtain probability, and I'm going to put PN here. So average energy is equal to now this is some value. This is not variable, this is constant. So this one can go out of this summation. So This one appears in the denominator. And numerator, we have two terms. This is the formula Planck are going to derive. Now, according to Planck's hypothesis, En is equal to integer multiple of h nu. So En is nh nu. So instead of h En, we are going to use nh nu. We are going to use nh nu and h nu, right? And h nu is constant, so this one go out of summation. Now, this formula looks a little complicated, so I'm going to introduce new variable to simplify this formula. I'm going to define x as following. I'm going to introduce x is equal to exponential minus h nu over kBt. Then this formula simplify. Now here x n to the n, because s is equal to e to the minus h nu over kBt, n remain. So denominator is equal to xn. And numerator is equal to xn. So this is our formula. Okay. And I'm going to show you that this one is equal to x over 1 minus x. In short time, I'm going to show that this one is equal to x over 1 minus. The proof is given in the box in your handbook, but I will show you in short time. Anyway, now accept this one is equal to this one. So this is our result. And finally, how do you define x? X is defined as exponential minus h nu over kb2. So I will substitute x here again. And finally, I'm going to multiply on both numerator and denominator. This is minus sign, this plus sign. Then, when we multiply this term, it is equal to 1. When you multiply this one, when you multiply minus h nu plus h nu, it is equal to 1. This is the Planck's result. This one is exactly equal to this one. Right. So anyway, we arrive at the Planck's formula. Now one task remains. What remains? This part is equal to this one. It is given in the box. The box. Now I'm going to evaluate denominator first. this is a simple geometric series. You already know the result of the summation of this geometric series. It is equal to 1 over 1 minus x. It is simple equation, right? Because this is simple geometric series. Now I'm going to evaluate numerator. Interestingly, this is equal to this one. This one is equal to this one. Why? When you evaluate this one, this is n times x to the n minus 1 times x. So when you multiply x times x n to the minus 1, it is equal to this one. So this one is equal to this one, and this part is equal to 1 over 1 minus x. This one is 1 over 1 minus. You can get the result of this one. So this is equal to x square. So denominator 1 over 1 minus x, numerator x over 1 minus x square. So you can obtain this one. So this is equal to x over 1 minus. So we can prove this one. So anyway, important point is that rho equal to consists of two parts. So to derive black body curve, we need to calculate the average oscillator energy, and there are two ways to calculate average energy. When energy is continuous, we are going to use this one. This one employed by Rayleigh, but the result does not agree with experimental findings. And second way is that we assume that energy is quantized. Then we are going to use this formula, summation. The result is KBT. When you use this formula, it is equal to H nu over one. This one agrees very well with experimental finding. This is the main result, okay? So finally, this is the Planck curve. Please note that x-axis represents the wavelength. When you draw Planck formula, the curve looks like this, and this is the experimental findings. As you can see in this graph, Planck formula agree very well with experimental finding. And I'm going to draw Rayleigh's curve. When you draw Rayleigh's curve, it looks like this. The dotted line represents Rayleigh. As you can see, in the long wavelength region, Rayleigh curve agrees very well with experimental findings. While in short wavelength region, Rayleigh curve deviates significantly from the experimental findings, right? So this region is called ultraviolet catastrophe. So I'm going to explain how Rayleigh explains well experimental findings even if he don't use quantum mechanical assumption. Even if he don't use quantum mechanical assumptions, his curve agrees very well with the experimental findings. Why? This is the question. As I said before, according to Planck hypothesis, oscillator energy looks like this. This region is high frequency region. This region, low frequency region. In this region, energy is quantized. Right? As I said before, the energy gap between consecutive energy level is proportional to h nu. Similarly, in this region, this is potential curve. Now, here also energy is quantized. Right? In both regions, energy is quantized, but the energy gap is different. Here, energy gap is h nu. The energy gap depends on vibrational frequency nu. Vibrational frequency nu. But this region is high frequency region. So nu is high. So energy gap is high. But in this region, when frequency increase, wavelength increase, frequency decrease. So in this region, the energy gap is very, very small, even if it is quantized. So practically in this region, energy gap is almost continuous. So for Planck formula, even if they assume that energy is quantized, it is practically continuous, right? So the Rayleigh result agrees with Planck result. Okay. Now, why Rayleigh results converge to Planck formula can be explained using mathematical expressions. Now, this is Planck formula. And this is Rayleigh's formula. When frequency approaches zero in low frequency region, this formula converges to KBT. How do you prove that? According to mathematics, e to the x, when x approaches zero, according to mathematics, this is approximately equal to 1 plus x. This is the mathematical formula. So, what happens to e to the 18 u over kBt? When u approach 0, this function is equal to 18 u over kBt plus 1. So here, this is equal to 18. Instead of this exponential function, I'm going to use this one. 1 plus so 1 minus 1 cancels, so this is equal to kBt. So anyway, in this way, Planck explained black body radiation curve. So the most important point on today's lecture is that this is our main topic. Black body radiation curve are composed of two parts. So to derive black body radiation curve, we need to calculate average oscillator energy. There are two ways to calculate average oscillator energy. When energy is continuous, we are going to use integration. But the result does not agree with experimental finding. But energy is quantized like this. We are going to use summation to calculate average energy. And this formula agrees very well with the experimental findings. This is our result. Okay, do you have a question? Okay, then see you next time.